Hello everybody, my name is Hammock. Today I'd like to just introduce a game called Mordhau, which I really love. If you ever played Chivalry Medieval Warfare, it's basically that, but has so many things improved upon it. One of the things that I quite like is that you can be an engineer. And that is a thing that I like to do in a lot of games. I play engineer in TF2, I've played engineer in PlanetSide, I've played in Battlefield, etc, etc. Any game where I can hit things with a wrench and contribute to the team, I enjoy. So we've got the default loadouts here that everyone has access to, and the engineer is here. He's a pretty swell looking guy. He's got a nice looking hat. He's got the toolbox, the wooden mallet, and a lute. The lute you can beat people with, or you can just play some nice accompanying music. But I don't really like this loadout too much. I'll go into what all these things do. So the toolbox lets you build things, like it lets you build a wooden wall, which you can use to hide behind. Or have like archers shoot through. You can build wooden spikes that allow you to walk over them, but if you try walking back the other way, you'll take damage, and a lot of teammates like to walk into these and die. They're very good for blocking off doorways, so your team can go out, but the enemy team can't come in, and it's also good for countering against cavalry, just running through and rolling through your spawn. You can just set up these flanks. I believe you can have 4 or 5 buildables before they start like replacing each other. I could be wrong about that. There isn't like an active UI thing that tells you how many buildables you have. You could also build a ballista, but I believe you can only have 1 ballista per team, and it's on certain maps, like on on a camp, I believe. On the red side you can build a ballista, but the blue side can't. Yeah, but the blue side do have ballistas built into the castle, so I think it's just a balance thing. And you also have the wooden mallet, which you can find around the world. If there's anything that needs building, like the walls or the stakes, there should be a wooden mallet nearby, so if there's no engineer on the team, you should be able to just pick up a wooden mallet and repair it. And you can equip this on a loadout, and it's a pretty nice weapon. I made my own custom loadout, support NG, and I'm demonstrating the 2 hammers that you can get hold of. So in the armory, let's go to gear, there's the wooden mallet that anyone can get access to, and the blacksmith hammer, which you have to unlock. This is a custom loadout. You have to use gold just by winning the game to unlock custom games. You unlock the custom loadouts by winning games. Sorry, my brain's a bit fuzzy today. And yeah, it's not really a pay-to-win kind of thing. You buy the game, you play it, you get gold, you get XP, you unlock stuff. Like, you just get all this stuff by playing the game, so it's totally fine. The blacksmith hammer does slightly more damage than the wooden mallet, and it also repairs faster. And you can't pick these up in the world. So if you're going to be an engineer main like me, I highly recommend using the blacksmith hammer. So a toolbox is what you're going to be using to build things. And it costs 8 points in your perks. You have 16 points to begin with, and that's what you use to have perks, have armor, have weapons. So someone who has like a big weapon and a lot of armor basically has no room for perks. While you can also make, for example, a monk build, which I have, with this glorious face of God, which has like no weapons, no armor, but has a lot of perks. So I'll just quickly go through these perks. Brawler increases your fist damage, so you can punch people if you want. You can go a fist-only Saxton Hail build. Peasant restricts equipment and rare balls to things a peasant would use. I believe this is just a thing to give yourself some nice like artificial difficulty, like just brag to the entire enemy team that you killed them as a peasant, which is, you know, a nice thing to do if you're really good at this game, because this game has got quite a high skill ceiling. Friendly, 50% reduction in damage received and dealt to team, because if you're in a lot of choke points swinging a hammer, you could hit a teammate. Also recommend to take friendly if you're using firebombs, because if you throw that into a choke and teammates run through it, it's kind of painful. So this is a nice value point to have if you're making a build, just because it reduces the amount of self-harm that you can be inflicting on people. Wrecker, damage to structures. This is good if you're going for like a firebomb build and you're throwing them at structures to destroy them. It's basically an anti-NG. And also if you're going for like a barbarian who's got like a big axe and just like, you know, cutting through all the like doors and things. Second win, gain extra stamina on hit. So that's good if you're going for like this kind of dodge monk build. If you get punched, you can just dodge around. Flesh wound. This is pretty strong. I'm pretty sure this might get nerfed. It might just be a thing where it seems good as a newbie like me, but it's actually trash. But I recommend taking a point in it. Basically, instead of like, if you get headshot, it doesn't matter. But if you're gonna get killed by damage, instead of dying outright, for 5 seconds you've got like a limb cut off and you can like survive for a little bit longer. but if they attack you again, you're obviously dead. So it means that if you're using a one-handed weapon like the blacksmith hammer and someone kills you and cuts off your arm, you can beat them to death with your hammer, which is pretty funny, and I've done it a couple times. Ranger allows you to move quicker when aiming a bow and crossbow. That's if you're being a crossbow user. Acrobat, jump stamina reduced by 50%. I think that also affects with dodge. We'll get to that later. Fireproof, reduced fire damage by 80%. So that's good if you're using firebombs. Also good if you're pushing the objectives, because firebombs are going to just be spammed at you. Rat, this is cool if you're going for a rogue build. Crouch movement increased by 10% for step volume reduced, so you can sneak around and be an asshole. So you can like sneak around and place bear traps or go stabby on people. Smith, this is what you want for like your engineer build. It lets you repair a little bit faster. Bloodlust, this is very strong. If you're going for like any kind of build that involves like, you know, fighting people and being the better gamer, Bloodlust I think is the most powerful perk at the moment. Basically, anytime you kill someone, it's like a Zatoichi in TF2. Anytime you kill someone, you get your health back, which is pretty nice. Scavenger is pretty nice, but I don't think I've seen anyone actually use it. Killing enemies causes them to drop everything they're carrying, which I've equipped on my support sapper build, where I throw firebombs at people, so that whenever I spam them at the cart or the objective or the choke point, people just end up dropping their weapons all over the place, which could be useful for people to pick up, because you're restricted by perks for like what things you can carry, but I'm not sure if it's restricted when you're in the game. So if you have, like, for example, this monk who's got a fuck ton of perks but no weapons, I don't think there's anything stopping me from picking up a Zweihander that I find on the field. So that could be cool to have. Fury, stamina on kill increase, so that's a good thing to pair with Bloodlust, especially if you're going for like a lot of fighting and a lot less like hiding back. Bows, crossbows, and throwables deal more damage against enemies carrying a quiver when hitting torso or head. So this is really good at countering ranges. I have this on my firebomb build because it says throwables. So assuming if I hit someone in the head with a firebomb, it's going to do a lot of damage. It's yet to happen, but it sounds pretty funny. You can also get a rock as a throwable. So you can have all these people who are like using bows and you can just throw rocks at them, which sounds really funny. There's also like, okay, the physics in this game are mental. Like, in Chivalry, they were really cool. But this game, if someone fires an arrow at you and you swing, you can hit the arrow out of the air. I've done it unintentionally with my like hammer, my like wooden mallet, and I'm not sure if the footage necessarily shows it. I'll just have a look. But you could, I really hope that there are cool mods in this game, because I could definitely see someone making like a baseball or a stickball mod where you have like a club and people throw rocks and you have to hit it. It's just really silly. Like, I can't wait to see like frag movies of people who are really, really good at this game, just seeing an arrow coming at them and they just deflect it with like their sword. Yeah, that's like a thing you can do. Cat reduces fall damage by 50%. That's good if you're going for the sneak and you like get a stab and you want to like run away and jump off like a building. Tenacious. This is nice to have if you're using like a bow build, because it allows you to just sit back. You get more healing. Rush instantly starts springing upon killing enemy. This is a thing for my rogue build. Rogue, there we go. Yeah, because then I can backstep someone and immediately run away. And dodge, which is a really strong one, which is like the man-at-arms in Chivalry. I think everyone could do this, but I think like man-at-arms was the best at it. Jumping backwards or to the sides will perform a dodge instead of a jump. So when someone goes to attack you, you can dodge out of the way. Because there's parrying mechanics in this game, but if you're playing a monk, I don't think you can parry a sword with fists. I haven't seen it happen, so maybe it's a rare chance, but I feel like they're just going to cut off your arms, because that's a thing. You can get dismembered in this game. So dodging is like a pretty cool thing. So I could totally see someone making a swashbuckler who uses a rapier, has like no armor, but is like really good at dodging and going for like attacks. So yeah, these are the perks. Let me go back to my support NG. So I like to use, personally, toolbox, flexive hammer, and a medic bag, because medic bags are a thing in this game. You throw them on the ground. It's kind of like a little bit like Battlefield, where you could throw them on the ground, except they're not like a passive thing. You have to actually click on them, and you have to click and hold it for like a few seconds, maybe like 2 seconds, just to stop you from like doing it in the middle of a fight. And I'm not sure how many of these you can have out on the field at once. But it feels like maybe 3 or 4 before they start like despawning. Because like I've had a few games where like I'll throw down a medic bag, run back to like a resupply cabinet, and then pick up another medic bag and then throw it in another place and have like this nice defensible area of walls and like spikes and then medic bags just to keep people safe. So I like this personally for like a support build and trying to fight people with the blacksmith hammer, because I'm pretty sure you can fight anybody with any weapon as long as you're good enough. And I am determined to get fucking amazing with the blacksmith hammer, to the point where like someone comes at me with any weapon and I just chamber them, disarm them, and fucking smash them to death with a blacksmith hammer. That just sounds so funny to me. It's like, I don't know, it's like underdog strats. So yeah, that's my like support engineer build, and my other engineer build is the sapper. Look at this guy, he's been punched in the eye a few too many times. He is using blacksmith hammer, the firebomb, which I have described before. You can use it for siege, you can use it for choke points. This is basically when I'm playing on like defense and the team is like pushed in really deep, so I can just like switch to this loadout, and instead of playing more support and repairing and healing, I need more action. I need to throw down firebombs on the objective and place bear traps on the flank. Watch out for bear traps, by the way, because teammates are affected by them too. I think they deal a little bit of damage. I think they do like 50 damage, but they mainly just make people fall prone, which is very strong, because when they're prone, they can't, you know, dodge or anything. It's kind of like D&D, I guess. When they're prone, you have advantage on them. So you can set these up on like the flank where you expect like a cavalry or some sneaky bastard. I like to put them at the top of ladders so people climb up full prone and then fall off the ladder and die. But yeah, you could just be careful you don't have teammates in an area where you're going to use a bear trap, or you can just sneak into the enemy base with like a rogue build using like the rat perk, and then place bear traps next to where archers are going to be, so you knock them over and stab them on the ground, or beat them to death with a wooden mallet. I don't know. There's a lot of creativity and a lot of like cool things you can do with loadouts in this game, which is really cool. I'll finish off this video by just showing some clips of cool things I've done in the game. So hopefully you're going to consider getting Mordhau and playing as an engineer nerd like me, because I mean, I post engineer related videos on this channel to do with TF2 and sometimes Overwatch. So if you're subscribed and you're watching this video, you'll probably have a passing interest in engineer related things. So if you like medieval combat at all, you'll probably like this game, and the engineer and like support things is just like a little icing on the cake. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Charge! Come on, let's go!
I shall end thee! Ha 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 ha!
Yeah, teammate. Look at this. There's. Oh no, I'm being attacked. There's a guy trying to break the wall on the other side. Oh, it clipped me onto the other side. I'm gonna die. What the fuck is this shit?
You're rock good at this, aren't you? You lot are good bloody chaps. I've never been proud in me life serving alongside you.
Good one! Hi!